ladies and gentlemen, quite possibly the most important tier list I'll ever make in my life. You've all been waiting for it. Everyone knows I'm the Scooby-Doo guy of Dinger City, and what is today, January 4th, otherwise known as Scooby-Doo Day henceforward? I don't know. Let's see if Scooby-Doo Day is a real thing. Let's see if I botched this whole opening. Maybe I have to reschedule this. Scooby-Doo Day. I bet it's not a real day. September 13th is Scooby-Doo Day? Well, we missed the ball on that one, but you know, for Wonder Bear's sake, January 4th, Scooby-Doo Day. Why is today Scooby-Doo Day? Because you guys are getting a litany of Scooby-Doo, Scooby snacks, if you will, across many media platforms. First and foremost, you're here getting the Scooby-Doo Tier List Tuesday extravaganza. Secondly, over on Dinger City, link in the description, you're getting the full-fledged, in-depth look in review of Scooby-Doo Ghoul School over on Dinger City channel. And finally, later tonight, you will be getting a live stream of me and Andrew becoming world record speedrunners of Scooby-Doo The Night of 100 Frights. We've never played it before. We're probably not going to break the world record tonight, but tonight we begin our journey. So it's a big Scooby-Doo day. And I figured what a better way to kick it off than with a Scooby-Doo tier list of all of the Scooby-Doo movies. You're going to notice something that I've never had on a tier list before. Under Unbearable, we have a have not yet seen section. I gotta come clean. I have not seen every single one of these Scooby-Doo. Basically, all the ones that have come out in the last few years, barring a few of these, I just haven't seen. I apologize. But I've seen a good chunk of them, so it felt like it would be a disservice to not give you this video just because I haven't seen a handful of them. And if you've seen the ones I haven't seen, you can recommend them in the comments below. But without further ado, let's dive in. They go in chronological order. So our first one, Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood, the first ever Scooby-Doo movie. And I gotta be real with you guys, I haven't seen it. I have not seen Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood. I think it's just a very long episode of Scooby-Doo, basically. It's like from the 70s. It's the oldest one by a landslide. But unfortunately, I haven't seen it. I've heard okay things. It's one that I definitely am going to see one day because, you know, it's from the golden era. It's not like one of these jank ones down here where they're just kind of seeing what sticks. So it's probably good, so I'll check it out. But let's get into ones I have seen. We've got the Shaggy, Scooby, Scrappy trilogy here with Boo Brothers, Ghoul School, and Reluctant Werewolf. Boo Brothers, the famous Brothers Boo from the Casper mythos. Their names, don't remember exactly, but you know, it's a Stretch, I think is one of them. I think it's like Stretch, Stinky, and like Jeff, probably. It's pretty good. The issue with these three films as a big Scooby-Doo fan is there's no mystery in any of them. They're like just like adventures that Shaggy and Scooby find themselves on, as is a later installment, Goblin King. But you know, this is the OG 3 that did that. I think they're all pretty good. There are certainly some are better than others. I don't think any of them are bad. So I think Boo Brothers is definitely like a B level. You know, it's fun, little crossover hijinks with Casper's family. Some fun stuff. Ghoul School, I'm going to intentionally not say much about, because if you just check out Dinger City, you'll find a whole long 20+ minute review done by me and my good friend City Hall. But I'll give you a little hint of how good we think it is. It's probably like an A tier Scooby-Doo film. It's probably my favorite of the Scooby, Shaggy, Scrappy trilogy. Reluctant Werewolf, great concept. Shaggy becomes a werewolf, and the only way to not be a werewolf is to win a like drag race with like a bunch of other Hanna-Barbera cartoons. It's a really good concept. It's a lot of fun. Not a lot of, there's like some Hanna-Barbera crossovers in here. Like you got some Blue Falcon down here. A lot of crossing over in the Scoob movie, which we will talk about when we get to it. But you know, the crossovers are always fun. So Reluctant Werewolf, I'm giving an A as well. It's a good time. Scooby-Doo, and oh my god, I can't see what that says. I think this is Arabian Nights. Another one in like the golden era that I have not seen. And you know what? I shouldn't have been calling this the Scooby, Shaggy, Scrappy trilogy. It could be a quadrilogy. This could also be one with just the three of them based on the cover. But most covers only really have Shaggy and Scooby on them. So who's to say? Who's to say? Who's to say? I'll check it out. These two are definitely on my watch list. Like I will not die unless I get struck down by lightning now. These will be watched before I die. Can't say the same about all of them, but I'm gonna make a point of catching these two. All right, we should now be on a clean trip where I will have seen, I think, the next like 20 of them. So shouldn't be much more of this, but we're gonna end strong with a lot down here. Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. Part of what is considered to be the Holy Four Scooby-Doo films. All produced around the same time, one of them having an updated art style. That's just when the technology came out, but they were all really made together and they're their own little era of Scooby-Doo films. I think this kind of falls before them. I think this either is Arabian Nights is either part of this Scrappy, Scooby, Shaggy era, which means it's another one with just those things, and that's also a 4-pack. Or its own thing, because I know it's not part of these guys. So, Zombie Island. Zombie Island is so good. There's a little bit of a mystery. Like, these ones know what they're doing, because there is a mystery, but there's also legitimate supernatural hijinks going on. And it's toting the line between real supernatural stuff like we get in these three, and they just like don't really ever care nor explain, and we just accept it as fact. And it's like, you know, there's still some real things. So it's interesting. Zombie Island is what's considered to be one of the greatest. So this is without a doubt a wonderful tier Scooby-Doo film. Great villain, great little team. They're definitely adults in Zombie Island, which is cool. Like they're all like they've got, I think Daphne's like a news anchor, like Velma owns a library. It's cool. Like it's a cool vibe. Witch's Ghost. Another wonderful tier movie. What is Witch's Ghost? Witch's Ghost, I think, is one of the most serious Scooby-Doo films. And I think it has one of the best stories. You know, you got Velma's relationship with who I won't spoil, but like a main character in the movie. It's a really cool one with some real ghosts coupled with actual, you know, villains that are trying to summon the real ghosts. So there's people that you can still arrest. Great story. And what did Scooby-Doo Witch's Ghost do for us as a community? As a man who didn't know what he wanted in this world until he sat down and watched Scooby-Doo Witch's Ghost. Scooby-Doo Witch's Ghost gave us the Hex Girls, which is the greatest export Scooby-Doo's ever done. I've got both Hex Girl songs in my Spotify playlist. They're bangers, and they're both quite short. And this movie explores their mythos. They only pop up ever so often. And you know what? It gives the movies a big boost. So definitely wonderful tier for the Hex Girls alone, but also an incredible film. You're going to pick up a trend here. Alien Invasion. Is Alien Invasion a wonderful? Or is it a high A? Alien Invasion is the weakest of the four. I think everyone kind of agrees on that. Still very good. You know, alien hijinks, very fun. You got some Shaggy and Scooby dating silly stuff. I'll put it up here for now, but I actually wouldn't be shocked if it gets bumped down, because I don't want the wonderful tier to be, you know, absolutely loaded. I love Scooby-Doo. I'm very biased, but we grade it on a curve. We say it in every episode. Every tier needs to have at least one installment. So this might need to get bumped down to A. We'll see when the time comes. Oh, I should talk about the movie though. Yeah, it's great. I talked about it already. Aliens. You've got the Shaggy romance with the, I won't really again. Try not to spoil these movies. I'm sure you've all seen them or you haven't and you don't care about spoilers. But I want you to go check out Scooby-Doo. It's like my favorite franchise in the world. If you take one thing away from this video, it's like watch them. They're all like 90 minutes. They're short movies. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, not much more to say about this one. The government gets involved in this one. I like government villain, sort of, like doing government things. Cool stuff there. Cyber Chase. Cyber Chase, I think, is the average Scooby-Doo fan's favorite Scooby-Doo movie. It's got a little bit of everything by design. First of all, if you're a gamer, this is the game. This is a Scooby-Doo movie for gamers. They get sucked into a video game, and each level brings along a different level of fun and mystery, whether it be trying to fight lions and evil gladiators in the Coliseum, or being in Coolsville, but like a parallel version where everyone wears slightly different clothing with the same gang. Lots of cool stuff in Cyber Chase, and it absolutely is a wonderful tier Scooby-Doo film, no doubt. I understand the love for it. I don't know if it's my favorite Scooby-Doo movie. This is gonna be the toughest part of this video. Is gonna be, we're gonna go through this last chunk and not have seen any of these, and that's gonna be sad for down here. But when we put the ones we've seen in order, that's gonna be the biggest struggle you've ever seen Wonder Bear HD have. I might cry. Oh, baby. Scooby-Doo, the live action film, is undoubtedly a wonderful tier film. It is perfectly cast. It is such a fun romp. It's an adventure. There's a real mystery to be solved. The culprit is genius. The acting is great. Everything about Scooby-Doo live action is perfect. This live action, I should say. I think there's 3 different installments of live action now, but this gang, this crew, incredible. And you know what? This might be one of the only times we go out of order, or maybe I'll do it when we get to the other live action ones as well. Let's just jump right to Scooby-Doo 2. Monsters Unleashed, also undoubtedly a wonderful tier film. This cast of Scooby-Doo, coupled with James Gunn's writing, he clearly understands the source material. He's willing to have fun with it. He's willing to reach out to both an adult and child audience. These are perfect films. What did I just say? Perfect films, not perfect Scooby-Doo films. This is the height of cinema. These 2 live-action Scooby-Doo movies. And something that we're going to talk about later is that Scooby-Doo has never really been everyone knows Scooby-Doo, right? He's a household name. But he hasn't been, like, shoved in the public eye since these movies until recently. Like, it seems like it's easy, right? Like, Scooby-Doo's incredible. Warner Brothers is a big movie company. Like, you'd think you'd be pumping out a Scooby-Doo movie every few years, but there was almost like a 20-year gap. So, I'm happy these happened. I wish we got the trilogy completed. He had James Gunn had a 3rd one written, but unfortunately it didn't come to fruition. And I would be totally open to them doing like a 3rd installment with this cast, like older, and Scooby-Doo's just there and no one questions how he's been alive for 30 years, and you just give him one last hurrah. I'm sure everyone, I know Matthew Lillard would want to do it. He's to this day the voice of Shaggy. Freddie Prinze Jr., he's probably in. They're all probably in. I don't think I need to go through everybody. I think they're all probably in. All right, Scooby-Doo, Legend of the Vampire. Great movie. Takes place in Australia. What else does it have going for it? I'll give you a hint. Rhymes with the Hex Girls. It's the Hex Girls. The Hex Girls are in this film as well. So it's pretty good, actually. They do there's a lot of music in it, which is fun. There's a little bit of musical mystery. Vampires are cool element. And they actually you know what? I'm gonna give this movie a little bit of a bump. I give this movie credit for one of the ways they start to figure out if the vampire is real or not. They test real vampire things, like whether or not the vampires can cross running water or see their reflection is part of how they solve this mystery. So kudos to actually trying to use vampire lore. Thank you, Tchaikovsky. I agree. Scooby-Doo Monster of Mexico, another classic. This is where we're in the section where the Scooby Gang just wins trips places and we don't question it. It's like, oh yeah, I want a trip for 6 to Australia or to Mexico. Monster of Mexico is really good. Don't think it quite reaches the highs of Legend of the Vampire, so I'll give a B tier, but it's very good. I enjoy this movie a lot. This era of Scooby-Doo movies, which literally spans from Legend of the Vampire all the way through, as far as I'm concerned. I think probably like Chill Out Scooby-Doo are all totally good, acceptable films. Loch Ness Monster, probably a little lower. I like the, this introduces some side characters who are reoccurring. Chill Out Scooby-Doo's got some characters from this movie in it. But, this movie's not incredible. It's, the Loch Ness Monster being the, I don't want to say the antagonist, but the monster mystery they're trying to solve kind of hinders the film in a way, because like how many different ways can you like look at the Loch Ness Monster? They do kind of get around it. They do throw them on land sometimes, which is interesting. But I think it's still good, but it's definitely like, I would probably pick any of these over this. Aloha Scooby-Doo, a little bit better. So I think that's a B tier. Aloha Scooby-Doo's a lot of fun, just like Monster in Mexico. You have like a thematic creature, surf missions, volcanoes, the thing with these ones, right? You got Australia, you got Hawaii, you got Mexico, you got the Loch Ness, you got Egypt, you got pirates, you got like the Himalayas. They literally are just like, let's throw Scooby-Doo in this location and do things with the location. And some of them are done great because of the location just being better. Loch Ness, not a lot of things going on there outside of the Loch Ness. Hawaii, you got surfing, you got the volcano, you got the wiki-tikis, you got a lot to work with Hawaii. Same goes for Mexico, same goes for Australia. You'd think the Egypt one would have like an almost even a wonderful tier amount of things in it, but I actually think Where's My Mummy kind of falls low. There's a really cool twist in this movie that I will not spoil for y'all, but this is really like it feels a little bit like the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser. It's like a group of people are trying to get into the pyramid and like get the treasure, but the pyramid's cursed and they are feeling the wrath of the Egyptian pyramids. It's cool. It's certainly not bad. I'm only gonna put, there are only a handful of bad Scooby-Doo movies, and they're gonna be the only ones that are down here. It goes like bad, watchable, just fine, good, great, God, the holy scripture, like it's beautiful art. But yeah, this is totally fine. It's like I've enjoyed this film the first time around. They're like this line between B and C is like rewatchability. I will rewatch everyone up here countless times. C is like I will, but I won't go out of my way to do it. D is like I have no drive to. So rewatchability is the big difference between B and C. Content similar, but rewatchability more so for B. Pirates Ahoy, I think, is one of the best of this generation. It's up there with Curse the Vampire. The concept is really funny. It starts with them going on a mystery cruise for like Fred's. Actually, I think the joke is that they don't tell you how old he is. It's his birthday though, and Fred's parents bring the whole gang out on a mystery cruise where there's like mysteries to be solved. But because they're so good at solving mysteries, they ruin the cruise for everyone, and then pirates attack. It's a lot of fun. It's very nautical. Ghost pirates are great. I think like the Bermuda Triangle is that's where the place is. It's all about the Bermuda Triangle. It's a romp, honestly. Very underrated film. I don't think a lot of people would say this is a top tier Scooby-Doo film, but I think I actually would call it very good. I don't think it's wonderful tier, but it might. Like, this is one of those things, right? Like Alien Invaders is incredible because it's part of this 4. But genuinely speaking, like this might be like a better showcase of Scooby-Doo. So if I knock this one down, I might have to even weigh it against the ones down here. We're gonna see what happens. Chill Out Scooby-Doo, also pretty good. I think it's like a high B though. I don't think it quite reaches A. We're in the Himalayas. Obviously the Yeti's the bad guy. We got the same like the best part of this movie and this movie is this character who's like a cryptozoologist who just like believes in crazy stuff, and he like just tags along with the Scooby Gang to prove that like the Yeti and the Loch Ness Monster are real. It's a lot of fun. He's like a very fun like conspiracy theorist character. So definitely a good one. I don't know why this one just says original movie in big letters, but I guess they were feeling a little upset about that one. All right, that concludes the 3rd era of Scooby-Doo films. I'm sorry, I guess That concludes the third era of animated Scooby-Doo films. We're now moving on to the next era. And I do not know exactly where the line for this one ends. I'm gonna honestly say I think this next era is from Goblin King, ignore the live action ones that are in this stint, to Phantasaur. Because that's about when I start not knowing these anymore. And it's not like I just hard stopped Scooby-Doo and they were coming out like the same thing. I think there was a little bit of a gap in between maybe these two. So once we get to this point, I'm gonna have to look them up and see if I remember them. But I think these 5 that aren't the Cartoon Network live action are the next era. Goblin King is pretty good. Goblin King's a lot of fun. Again, it's not like a real mystery. This is like one of those. This is a pseudo Scrappy Shaggy. There's no Scrappy in it. Instead, the mystery gang is there, but it's a Scooby and Shaggy solo adventure into the Halloween realm. While the mystery gang stays behind to like try and figure stuff out. Great villain, fun, fantastical setting, you know, which you trade a mystery in for, which again, I don't think any Scooby-Doo movie without a mystery in it can get a wonderful tier, unfortunately. But I think this is an A tier. Like even Ghoul School, which I love and you'll hear the review of, I don't think you can put a Scooby-Doo movie where a mystery isn't the central focus into the wonderful tier. Even if it's well done, like Goblin King, like Ghoul School, like Reluctant, like all of these. Well, these two have mysteries, but these 3 are all really good, but it just isn't the mystery. Scooby-Doo and the Samurai Sword. We're back to our roots on this one. We picked a location, we went with Japan, we went with samurais. It's okay. It's like, you know, samurai sword ghosts, they use their sword fights and stuff. It's fine. It just isn't really, it's nothing to write home about, you know? It's like the Japan thing. Japan feels like it should have had like maybe a B level of stuff to do, but they kind of dropped the ball with it. All right. We're gonna just do these back to back like with the other live action ones. Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins and Scooby-Doo Curse the Lake Monster. Live action films, but just for Cartoon Network, did not hit theaters like these ones did. You can tell it's a downgrade for sure, but I am not going to give these movies the crap that I think everyone else does. They're not terrible. Obviously, you know, like the Scooby-Doo animation's a lot worse, but I think it's a fun concept to have it be like an origin story. Like they hadn't done that before. I mean, you have a pup named Scooby-Doo as a TV show, but it's not really the same thing. But throwing them into high school and like having them like develop their friendships and like kind of develop relationships with one another, and I think it's a fun concept. The first one is better than the second one. I'm gonna give The Mystery Begins a C tier and Curse the Lake Monster a D tier. I know I just said I wasn't gonna give them crap. This isn't crap. I think the average Scooby-Doo fan would put them down here. I think they're a little bit better than that. This one's better. That's the actual origin story, and this is like the sequel to the origin story. This is like them becoming a team, and this is like, oh, Fred and Daphne are dating, and Shaggy has a crush on Velma, and Scooby-Doo's there, and frogs. Definitely not as good as this one. I actually think I would consider this one watchable. You know what? I think it's going to be a low B tier. I said it, but that doesn't move this one up. I think this one's really kind of a mess. All right. Abracadabra Doo. This one's about Velma's sister wanting to become a magician, and they go visit her at magician school. That is the real plot. The theme they went with for is magicians. It's kind of fun, but again, it kind of just falls into this like, you know, they had a fun idea, kind of worked. Don't really feel the need to see it again. And that's kind of just that. Velma's sister is a reoccurring character after this point. I believe I've seen like a handful of these later ones, and she pops up in them. I don't remember which ones exactly. There's gonna be a lot of Googling once we get there, so just bear with me. Scooby-Doo Camp Scare, pretty good. Camp counselors, Scooby Gang being camp counselors with like a bunch of little kids as side characters. Pretty fun. I'm actually gonna put this one in the B tier, I think. It's not bad. I think just having a lot of side characters gives you a benefit. They didn't go like the Jason Voorhees route like I would have wanted them to do. Obviously, you can't slasher people, but like I would have had that be like the story. Like, oh, and then, but like, you know, it was pretty good. Can't complain too much about it. Probably gonna be like a lower tier B, but totally passable Scooby-Doo film. Legend of the Phantasaur, I believe, brings us back to Australia. With doesn't, I believe he's a character in this movie. There's like a Indiana Jones, Steve Irwin type Australian character who pops up in this one and in a lot of episodes of What's New Scooby-Doo. He's a good side character. Legend of the Dinosaur, though, it's not incredible. It's a ghost dinosaur, which is cool. I love when they do a big monster because then they'll have like a really interesting explanation of like, how does it work? How's their giant dinosaur wreaking havoc? Is it a machine? Is it a hologram? What do they do? So fun, but again, not crazy. All right, I'm gonna hop around here because I need to know. We've reached the belt of it's gonna be like hit or miss if I've seen them. So I'm gonna quickly look up a lot of these and see if it looks familiar. So first one is Scooby-Doo music. You know what the first thing I'm gonna do before I even look up things is put the ones that I know I haven't seen down. I have not seen the one with the Blue Falcon. I have not seen the one where they're puppets. I know about this one though. I think I have seen Stage Fright. This is the other one with Elma's sister. I have seen this one. I have no idea what. I definitely don't remember seeing Velma's for Birth of Bride of Frankenstein. This one we're gonna talk about, I have seen. Ironically, I have not seen Scooby-Doo Saves Kiss, even though I talk about it all the time. It's a really funny. It's conceptually a very funny concept to me, but I haven't seen it. I have not seen either of the Lego ones. Obvious, I'm Tyler. I've seen both of the wrestling ones. I think I've seen this Shaggy Showdown one, which has a very famous scene in it that we will talk about again. Batman Brave and the Bold. This is not the original Batman special, so I don't think I've seen it. I've seen the original one, but they don't consider that a movie. It's an hour-long TV special. Have I seen one about cooking? I have to look this one up. I think I have. Curse of the 13th Ghost is not very specific enough in the name of it, so I'll look that one up as well. I know I haven't seen Return to Zombie Island. I have not seen whatever this Happy Halloween one is. I have not seen The Sword and the Scoob. That's a hilarious name. I've never even heard of some of these until just now. Like, I didn't know about, like, I thought the Return to Zombie Island was the second newest one. We'll talk about the newest one, which I have seen, which is this one. But there have been two since then. And Sword and the Scoob is a hilarious name, and I'm intrigued to see that one. And I have not seen the Daphne and Velma original movie, which I've heard terrible things about. But I have not seen it, so I cannot judge it. I know I have seen Stage Fright, this one, and this one. So let me quickly look up Music of the Vampire, Shaggy, Gourmet Ghost, and 13th Ghost. All right, Scooby-Doo, Music of the Vampire. I have not seen this. Big Top Scooby-Doo, which I don't think I just said I needed to look up, but it is one of the ones I need to look up. It sounds very familiar. I think I've seen this one. Oh, this is the most exciting part of the video. I totally could have paused here. Oh, I totally have not seen this one. What the heck are these flying pigs? No way, I haven't seen that one. Scene. Gourmet Ghosts. I wonder who comes up with the concepts for these. And I wonder if like Gordon, you think Gordon Ramsay got a little stint in this Gourmet Ghost one? He didn't. Bobby Flay did though. Very funny. Yeah, have not seen Bobby Flay. That's not the right one. Gourmet Ghost and Curse of the 13th Ghost. That's gonna be I'm assuming it's gonna also, I think I'm good, my memory is pretty good. I think this would be another, yeah, Velma, yeah, Fighting Demons, what the heck? Yeah, haven't seen that one. So that concludes, this is a lot of Scooby, I know it was for a tier list, this is a lot to have not seen, but I think it's still more than the average bear. There are some that I have to see on here, like I'm definitely gonna see these two OG ones. And other than that, like, this one sounds fun, these sound fun, Kiss sounds interesting. The Lego ones and the puppet one are like, I'm probably not gonna watch those ones, no offense. Unless they're great. If someone tells me they're great, I'll check it out, but I don't know. Lego Scooby-Doo doesn't sound right to me. Return to Zombie Island I heard was really bad because it's just like it's like it's like taking the greatest thing you've ever done and ruining it. So I'm intrigued to see how that goes. But yeah, sorry about this list down here. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Let's get to the rest of this. Scooby-Doo Wrestlemania Mystery. Pretty bad. Very funny because I love wrestling and I loved hearing all the wrestlers at the time being in it. but it's so stupid. It's like they go to Wrestlemania camp, like as though that's a real thing. And there's like a ghost bear. It doesn't make any sense. It's really bad. It's a guilty pleasure for me. Terrible Scooby-Doo movie. Scooby-Doo Stage Fright is like a world-renowned talent show, and you know there's a ghost ruining it. It feels just like a long episode of normal Scooby-Doo, which is good, I think. And I think I'm gonna honestly, I think it's genuinely good enough to hit low B tier. It's totally fine. Velma's sister again with the magic stuff. And then there's like also like a heist going on in this one at the same time. There's some fun elements to that one. This one, if you do not know, the Scooby-Doo Martian Madness, I think is what that says. My eyesight's bad, but I know what this one is just from the picture. This is Alien with the Scooby Gang. They no holds back, you can see it right there, use a xenomorph in this film. And I think that they still do the running bit of they won a trip to outer space. Like they won a trip. Or like Velma won a science competition and she gets to bring 4 of her friends to space. It's very silly. It's funny because it's just literally the Alien movie. I think it's like it's C tier. It's fun. It's so funny. Like that they were like, let's just make Alien like to a T, but with the Scooby Gang. Curse of the Speed Demon is like the Undertaker in a drag race. It's worse than the first one. It doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you do another wrestling themed mystery? Why is the Undertaker a monster truck racer? It doesn't make any sense at all. Whoever thought of this one, terrible. Terrible. Scooby-Doo Shaggy's Showdown. Western theme. Clearly someone was looking at their catalog and was like, we haven't done cowboys yet, let's do it. And there's a famous scene that you could look up if you'd like, where I think Shaggy gets possessed by a cowboy. And he just beats the ever-loving heck out of a bunch of bikers. And it is so funny. I think this might even be where the Shaggy meme started, like with his power level, because there's like the famous scene of him like, beating up an entire bar full of people. It's pretty fun. It's not great. It's probably like high C tier, but yeah, I think it can. It can hang. What order do I want to tackle these two in? Do I want to tackle... I want to end on high notes, so let's tackle Scoob first. This is going to be the only thing in our unbearable section. Scoob was the biggest letdown of my whole life. As I mentioned, we've got Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo 2 as the theatrical appearances of the Scooby Gang, and they're excellent and they're perfect. And then they leave theaters for a long time. We don't see Scooby-Doo in main theaters again until Scoob, which they were like, we're going to go animated so we can have more fun with it. And I was like, totally not a problem. I understand that. Where to begin? They didn't use any of the voice actors that are famous for their roles. Not even Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. I got nothing against Zac Efron, and I got nothing against MacGruber, but like, there are people who are so famously well known for doing these Scooby voices, and you ruined it. The only good part of this movie is like I think the first 10 minutes is also like origin stuff, and I think origin stuff is cute, and again, it hasn't been tackled in a mainstream movie, so do it. But it gets so lost in the shuffle of Hanna-Barbera stuff. There's like the Blue Falcon is like a superhero played by Mark Wahlberg, and it's all superhero stuff, and there isn't a mystery. They like fight Cerberus instead of there being a mystery. It's totally trash. Biggest, saddest thing ever. But then the Scooby-Doo gods were like, we owe Tyler an apology. Let's take his 2 favorite fictional dogs and put them in the one movie, and we go Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog straight out of nowhere. We had a little party at the Bang Sanctuary where baseball takes place. Watched this with Andrew, Crit Nick, City Hall is Andrew. I think Mike was there. We had a lot of people watching this, and this movie was a lot of fun. I'm giving it an A tier. It was very simple. The mystery wasn't too complex, but it was really just for fans of Scooby-Doo and Courage. They had a lot of here's some Courage stuff, here's some... It was honestly really more like a Courage movie featuring the Scooby Gang than it was a Scooby movie featuring Courage, which everyone thought it was going to be. But it was very courage-centric, and it was a great time. Good love letter for both characters. I think I had like a list of the things that I felt like I needed to be in a Scooby-Doo meets Courage movie. I think they hit all but one of them, which is pretty good. So, high praise from me. Good job, this movie. All right, so we've reached that time. We are going to rank these guys now. Before we get into ranking, I'm going to just once more refer to this group that I haven't seen. If you've seen any of these and you think I should watch them, let me know. Leave a comment below which ones are good, which ones are bad, and why you think that. I'd love to have your take, but let's get into it. No ranking needs to be done here. Scoob is terrible, and it's by itself down here. And I'm looking at the D tier, and I think the D tier is in the order it needs to be in. Curse the Lake Monster is messy, but it has the foundation from Mystery Begins to stand and do things. And the two wrestling ones, while fun for me, are terrible for a Scooby-Doo viewer. If you don't like wrestling, these are trash. They're just absolutely bad. Now, the C tier. The rest of this honestly has a lot to do. I think that Where's My Mummy is the best of these for sure. And I think maybe the Samurai Sword's the worst of them. Then the Alien ripoff. Then Phantasaur. Then Loch Ness Monster. No, then Shaggy Showdown. Then Loch Ness Monster. Yeah, this is the order I would do this one in. They just didn't use enough of Japan here for it to be the best it could be. This is just a ripoff of Alien, but at least it's fun. Cool stuff. Not executed perfectly, but not terrible. Lots of good stuff in this one that needs praise, especially the Shaggy fight, but other than that, it's kind of messy. Very simple by the book Scooby-Doo movie, a little lackluster, but good. And these two are genuinely unique and deserve a little bit of praise. So top C tier for them. All right. I think that this tier is gonna be tough. I think Camp Scare is the worst on this tier. Totally fun. The kids add a lot of watchability to this, but it is not great. It's better than this tier, but you know, I think this is easily the worst in this tier. Then I would go with the Boo Brothers. It's a classic, a lot of fun if you're into the classics, but unfortunately it, you know, not a lot of mystery. It's mainly just like, hey, look, it's Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy and the Boo Brothers. That's like the whole shtick. What do we got going on here? We got Aloha Scooby-Doo is definitely better than Monster in Mexico. So is Chill Out Scooby-Doo. But I think, and so is Stage Fright. I'm actually going to do this. I think I'm going to give Mystery Begins a little bit more praise. Putting it over what people actually consider to be a good Scooby-Doo movie. It isn't. This is a good Scooby-Doo movie, but I think The Mystery Begins actually no, it doesn't. I was going to say I think it deserves a little bit of praise. I think you can consider it a good Scooby-Doo movie, but I do just think I would rather watch this. I was thinking about it. But this is good. You don't need to shun away from this. You can probably shun away from this, but this one's pretty good. Monster of Mexico. I think this is the rest of this order for me. Stage Fright's a lot of fun, probably the best new age Scooby-Doo movie. I think it's the highest, newest, well, Scooby and Courage is a unique situation, but this one is very new and has a good feel to it. So props to this film. Chill Out Scooby-Doo and Aloha Scooby-Doo are both absolutely great. Very comparable. They use their locations well. They have good villains. They do silly stuff with them. Good stuff. B tier done. This is where my life gets difficult. Here's what I know. Pirates Ahoy, Legend of the Vampire, the top of this tier. Goblin King is the lowest in this tier. I think this is the order. I think this is the order. Oh, we have to talk about Alien Invaders. Is Alien Invaders, simply by being in the conversation of these four, better than all of these? I think it is. I think these are just such perfectly crafted movies that even though it's not the most exciting premise, it's good. It's I'm thinking about these two maybe being better. And does that does that mean they're low wonderful? I don't know. Goblin King is a lot of fun, but it's a little too silly, and it's a lot of that, you know, Shaggy, Scooby doing something, no mystery. This is a lot of fun if you like both shows, but if you don't like both shows, you'll probably be lost. It's not the best other than that, but it does do both shows very well. These two are also Shaggy and Scooby just having hijinks. This one's, you know, a drag race with Hanna-Barbera characters, which is a lot of fun, but a little less centric than this one. You know, at least has a villain that they're trying to stop. Like, it's got stuff like that. I mean, this has got a villain too, but, you know, these ones are are messy in a fun way, like a Pollock painting. These two are great. These are the best two Scooby-Doo movies from the era after these four. I think there's absolutely bangers. Not that these aren't, like, these are great, but these two are a fun watch. And I think that's how I'm gonna leave it. I think I'm gonna have to put respect on the name of the Big Six, and I think it would be unjustified to put this ahead of any of this. This one goes, for sure, the easiest first moves I know how to make are Alien Invaders, Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed are the bottom two. Is that the order they're in? Scooby-Doo. Yeah, I love these ones. I think I'm comfortable. I think everyone loves the live action ones. I think I'm gonna get flamed for putting this one higher than one of the Holy Four. I think everyone respects these two as the best other things than these four. These are the two who are in this order. This is where it gets hard for me, man. These three are gold, and this one's gold for a totally different reason. I don't even know how to stack them. I could very easily put this one first or last. It's so hard. I guess the first thing I should do is put these in order, and then decide how this plays into it. So, Cyber Chase. Fun video game, cool stuff. Genuine mystery. No real monsters, which is the only one in the top 6 that doesn't have real monsters in it. Witch's Ghost, Hex Girls, pretty serious film. Slowest of the bunch, Scooby-Doo Zombie Island, famously great. Fun handheld camera stuff. There's ghosts and there's zombies and there's cat monsters, like, and there's like genocide. Like, this is a good movie. Not genocide in the movie, but they talk about genocide. There's like curses and stuff. I think, here's what I think. I think it's crazy. I think you might think I'm crazy, but this is what I think I'm gonna do. This is the hardest decision I'm making right now. I've come to my decision concerning this guy and where they're gonna ultimately end up. I always have considered Cyber Chase to be like the odd one out of the other four, of the other three rather, of the four, simply because it's got like a newer look to it. But you can see even just on top, it's like the same situation. Like, these movies came out not the same time, they're all a year apart, but like it was like these were a four. There's such a jump in animation quality to this one that it's confusing, but they are all the same writers, same group. I think that Cyber Chase is, I love Witch's Ghost. I think Cyber Chase is a little bit better, but I think I'm putting the live action Scooby-Doo above both Cyber Chase and the Witch's Ghost, falling only short of Scooby-Doo Zombie Island, which I think is the best Scooby-Doo movie ever made. And I'm comfortable with this. I was, when I came into this, I thought this might have been the first one. I thought this might have been the first one. These four, I was like, one of these four is taking the cake, no problem. And I wouldn't have felt bad about it. And honestly, I've said it before, I think Witch's Ghost is the best, like this is Scooby-Doo at its like most well done, like the mystery and how things go. And then the big movie jump for me anyway, and this is why I think the original, like the big four are so well done, not the live action one, but even yes, the live action one. The thing that takes a Scooby-Doo movie to new heights when it's a movie is like real supernatural activity, real aliens, real ghosts, real zombies, real, whatever the heck those bunny rabbit, jackal, kangaroo monsters are. Literally the whole thing about this is someone's fabricating real monsters based on the fake monsters. And this has a real monster vibe because they are brought into a fake place where they're in danger from real threats in there. So I think these 6 do that very well. These are the big 6. This is the order they're in. And I think I'm comfortable with this. So just to recap at about 45 minutes in, it's a long video, but it means a lot to me. Hopefully my thoughts were concise, and I would gladly do an in-depth look at any single one of these movies. If you guys wanted to see it, leave a comment below. Scoob is the worst thing ever made. I hate it. Curse of the Speed Demon, then Mystery Wrestlemania, then Curse of Lake Monster. Messy, niche target audiences, kind of hard to watch. Samurai Sword, then Martian Madness, I think is, I can't really read it, but Alien ripoff. Legend of the Phantosaur, Shaggy, Showdown, Loch, Ness Monster. Abracadabra Do, Where's My Mummy? All very good, watchable Scooby-Doo films. If you watch them, you'll be like, yep, that was a Scooby-Doo movie. You probably won't take anything home from them, but you'll be happy that you watched them. Camp Scare, Boo Brothers, Mystery Begins, Monster of Mexico, Stage Fright, Chill Out, Aloha. Just one step higher than the last list, you know? You're going to be happy you watched them. You might even recall them your whole life. You might even go back and watch them a few times for fun. Robbie Amell's in this one. I met Robbie Amell at a DC convention once. Obviously, he was there because he was in DC Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow and Flash as like Firestorm or Heatstorm or whatever. And everyone was meeting him because he was Firestorm and because he's Stephen Amell's brother, who's Arrow and, you know, the most famous DC CW hero. I walk right up to this guy and I'm like, I loved you as Fred and Scooby-Doo, The Mystery Begins. He just literally looked at me. It was like, no one's ever said that to me before. It was a moment for me. I didn't pay, I didn't get anything signed because my friend was meeting him because of the DC show. But I was like, I gotta tell this guy that he's Fred to me and it's his fault. He's not like the first person I think of when I think of Fred, but when I see him, the role I associate him with is Fred in this film. So these are all really fun. I think I would recommend everything. I would recommend everything from the C tier up, but I like obviously the recommendations get higher as the tiers get higher. A tier: Goblin King, Scooby-Doo Meets Courage, Reluctant Werewolf, Ghoul School, Legend of the Vampire, Pirates Ahoy. If you like Shaggy and Scooby, if you're like, you know, a lot of the average people out there and they're the central idea for you of what makes a good Scooby-Doo movie, and the rest of the Freddy, Velma, Daphne are like, you know, secondary, these 3 movies are for you. It's just them having hijinks and being the main vessel. If you like Courage the Cowardly Dog, this one's for you. That's how I feel about that. Then these 2 are genuinely really good Scooby. These are like the 2 best Scooby-Doo movies I can think of that are like, you know, modern age-esque. They're pretty old now actually, but you know what I mean. Not these 6. And then there's the big 6, which I think I've talked about in great detail. One more time: Scooby-Doo Alien Invaders, Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, Witches Ghost, Cyber Chase, Scooby-Doo Live Action, and then finally Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. If you haven't seen any of these, watch them. That's all I can tell you. If you think you like Scooby-Doo, these are the best 6 things you can watch. Absolutely incredible. I've watched all of these more times than I can count. The only one that I think is even close to views for me personally to these 6 is just because of the sheer amount of replays I've seen of it are probably Legend of the Vampire and Monster of Mexico. Just played all the time on TV for some reason. But like these 6 are just incredible. And that does it. There's your Scooby-Doo tier list. Comment below if you think I messed something up or if you think any of these are really good. Comment below for a lot of reasons. I'll review a movie. I'll check out one of these ones if you think they're good. If you think that something should have changed. Like the video, share the video, subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you check out Dinger City in the link below. Subscribe to Dinger City if you haven't. We're climbing the rankings with subscribers there. But if you want to see the in-depth Scooby-Doo Ghoul School review and me and Andrew play Scooby-Doo 100 Frights of the Nights, or whatever the heck it's called, speedrun style, later tonight, approximately 7-8 p.m. on stream, you gotta go to Dinger City, baby. Other than that, I've been Wonderberry HD. Thank you guys so much for tagging along for this 50-minute Scooby-Doo endeavor, and I will see you next time. Scooby-Dooby-Doo!